I started teaching in 2009, and it becomes very, very apparent very quickly as an art teacher that there are certain students who genuinely feel that art is not for them. But it leads to a lot of confidence issues, and I found that every time that I allowed my students to explore tactile materials such as clay or anything that they could really literally dig their hands into, it completely changed their perspective on art. At that point, it became really, really clear, and in a high school level, it's really limitless, the amount of impact that you can have on each person, because they're going to get whatever they put in. But it also opens it up for them to be able to just truly explore a new material that a lot of them haven't even had the opportunity to explore until they got here.
I mean, I've always been interested in art. It's always been something I really enjoy. Middle school, you kind of almost always focus on 2D art, like almost always just drawing and like a little bit of painting. And Miss O'Leary was really enthusiastic and like had a very welcoming presence. And so I just wanted to try my hand at ceramics and 3D.
I'm taking this class again just because I love ceramics. I love Miss O'Leary, and it's just kind of a de-stressor a little bit.
Ceramics is the only art that lets my brain let go. I'm a control freak, and ceramics gives me no choice of whether I get control or not.
Here at Skyline, they've really kind of encouraged me to like cultivate an artistic voice, I guess, because I took Open Studio and Art Portfolio, and those things are very driven by like you and what you want to make. So like your artistic visions and practices kind of get funneled into like your own specific thing, and I think that'll be really helpful in the future. Whatever I do, it's going to be something artistic. So
as soon as I tried it, I kind of fell in love with it. And now I've taken 3 ceramics classes, and I do intend to pursue art, not as a major or minor, but as a hobby for the rest of my life, which honestly, without Skyline art program, I don't think I'd be doing. I love everything about it. I think honestly the only thing that I don't love is it does feel kind of underfunded. Like sometimes if I need more clay or anything like that, it feels like a bit of a drag to get it. And I have noticed sometimes my teachers will pay for things for me, for my projects, out of their own pocket, which I don't think should be happening. But I do love it. I feel like that's a pretty good complaint to have.
I mean, not to be topical, but we did just recently lose a teacher, which is probably a huge detriment. I just don't think you can explore those topics as deeply now. And yeah, I mean, I think it's just we're, out of all the things to cut funding to, the art department, which is already, as I know, kind of starved of funding, was not a good choice, I think.
Miss O'Leary has really pushed me to keep creating, especially right after high school ended. I have done a couple art fairs, a couple with Miss O'Leary too, which is fun. And I teach a ceramics class now in Farmington Hills. So,
well, having really good teachers has definitely made me want to be an art teacher more, because that was a dream of mine from before coming to Skyline. But then having these good teachers, and I started actually being like, oh well, if they could do it, I could do it, because I feel like something about the art teachers I've had at Skyline is you can tell they're real people, and I don't know, it's enjoyable to be able to see yourself in a teacher in some ways.
If anyone's watching this who hasn't tried ceramics, I think you should at some point in your lifetime, whether it's tomorrow or in a year. Just make a piece, and I think you'll enjoy it and be proud of yourself.
I think art's one of the most important things a person can do to express themselves. And I think even if you're into sports, even if you're into STEM, I think honestly a ceramics class can be beneficial in any way, because it provides an artistic outlet for a lot of people who wouldn't necessarily consider themselves artistic, because you're able to be involved with your hands and you can make practical pieces like bowls or cups and still make them really beautiful. Because I think what holds a lot of people back is they're like, oh, I can't draw a person. You know what I mean? But it's very intuitive to make a cup.
If I had to choose like a specific moment, I think it would be when that sort of thing clicks with each individual student where they recognize what they can actually do and what they're capable of. I had quite a few students like that first example who came in fully committed to this idea that they're not an artist, they can't do this, they're just here to get the credit, and they leave pursuing ceramics in college. Unfortunately, we just need more funding. It comes down to support, visibility. You know, it would be nice for us to be as publicly displayed as some of our other programs, but you know, it all comes with give and take, right? I'm not trying to take anything away from someone else, but we just need more support to make it a more viable option for all of our students.
Skyline Ceramics class is important to many different kinds of students, even those who don't wish to continue art as a profession. Ceramics allows someone to dabble in a very different way of thinking and problem solving. Creating your own piece in something you're not familiar with allows new connections in your mind to be made, something that can be applied later in life. In fact, creative thinkers are in very high demand in the job market. A recent study done by IBM, surveying 1,500 executives, reveals that creativity is viewed to be the #1 factor to a business's success. Although art may not be the exact outlet the creativity is put into, art classes can be great practice for someone to strengthen problem solving, and an art minor may make you stand out to employers. Consider taking an art class today, and you may get something more than a credit, that and a community that will support you.